I think both of them are very important, but for different reasons. Both of them teach cooperation and the importance of learning your own part and being a team player. Both of them teach math skills, because you have to know how to count properly when you're dealing with music. Music's a whole, you even have language skills, because music really is a different language when you're starting to deal with notes and quarter notes and how to read measures and time signatures and key signatures. And it becomes mind-blowing how much mental activity is involved in just singing or playing an instrument. Well, I don't know about teaching the choir program. I think schools are better off having a choir program or a band program, because in general, one, it does give students a place to belong, and there's a lot of information out there that shows that when you have a strong performing arts program, students feel more connected to the school, and when students feel more connected to their school, they have a tendency to want to perform better in their other classes. So that connection and that bond makes a big difference. Once they connect to the school and they see a reason to go to school, they're there more. Their attendance increases. So if nothing else, if just for an attendance increase, you're going to see a greater learning increase in the core classes. If you lose a choir program in a school, I think you lose a lot of school spirit. Choirs do a lot of outside activities that reach out to the community. They'll sing in different places. We used to do caroling when I was a high school student. We would go to different local buildings and senior centers and sing for them. And it's an awesome community outreach. And when you lose that, the community feels less connected to their school. And so just as the students feel less connected, the community starts to feel less connected. So when you start getting rid of the performing arts programs one by one, all of a sudden there's this community disconnect. And then school doesn't feel like a part of the community. It feels just a separate entity where just the kids go.
Without the choir program, I feel that our other sports meetings and whatnot would be more boring, simply because of the fact that the band and the choir, they play a huge part in motivating and getting the crowd up and everyone hyped. They have halftime shows and everything that they participate in. So I feel that it's a pretty good program to have.
The choir or band program is extremely important to many, many students. We have a very diverse group of students, and it's a place where a lot of students feel very comfortable. That's one aspect of it. Being in any kind of musical or any performing arts, you have students all types, socioeconomic. It crosses the line. You don't have to be, you don't have to look a certain way. You can just be yourself. We have some of the most outrageously dressed students, and nobody bats an eye when they walk into the choir room. It's just who they are, and everybody accepts them. Same thing with the band. You could just enjoy the music, and that's what everybody has in common, is enjoying the music, and all the other stuff just kind of falls by the wayside. So it's a real home away from home for many, many students. Why is the program better off top? I will tell you, there are many studies, and I wish I had them here in front of me so I could quote them. But there have been many, many studies, and one just recently came out of Oxford in England. And every couple of months, new studies come up, and so they're readily available, that show the actual effect of music training, early music training, training in the middle years, training in the high school years, even training as a senior citizen, in what happens to the brain when you are studying music. It just makes everything work better and faster. So it affects the cognitive skills of every other major subject matter. It is a proven fact that students who study music early do better in math. And they also do better in all kinds of verbal skills, because it's a type of a language. It's not exactly a language, but you have to make so many decisions at the split second, actually much faster than a split second, when you're as a performer. How am I going to produce that sound? Is it going to be loud? Is it going to be soft? What's the vowel shape? How am I listening to the people around me? When am I doing this? Just rhythmically, emotionally. There's so many decisions that you're making on this, just like right there. You've got to make those decisions, and you have to know how to create decision that you want. And that sharpens the brain for every other function that you also use. So you'll see a lot of surgeons who are excellent pianists. They're not pianists as a profession, but they use it as a relaxation method. But they've got mad skills. There are a lot of engineers because they may not be the most musical, but they can play technically beautifully because it uses the same part of the brain. When I taught before I came here, I taught at U of M Dearborn for many years. All my students were engineers, and they were learning theory, and it just always amazed me at how technical they were, and they got everything right. They weren't very musical if you were going to ask them to perform something, but they got it right because it uses the same brain function. But the studies have proven over and over again how beneficial music training is all throughout the formative years.
Well, I guess that depends on if you decide to go on all the trips or not. But I mean, even if you do, they still have fundraisers and ways for you to like come up with funds. So I mean, really, it's not that bad. No, really, just I have a passion for music, and I mean, I feel like any learning that I could do on music, even if it's not my genre of music or whatever, I feel like just the more I know about music in general, the better I'll be in the future. So really, just for my future. I would say a lot, honestly. Pretty much all I know as far as reading the sheet music and everything I've learned in band. I really had no experience as far as reading and stuff. I could make music, but I really could just kind of listen and play along. Now I feel like I have a grasp on like actually writing sheet music and reading sheet music, so that's pretty cool. Honestly, I feel like if it wasn't for band, my attendance might not be as good as it is, because that's the one thing that I look forward to in school. I mean, I don't really like writing papers or reading books or, I mean, anything like that, but music is the one thing that I have that I'm actually good at, and I feel like great while doing it. So, I mean, band kind of gives me a reason to kind of go. Not that I wouldn't go, but I don't know, I would have less motivation getting out of bed to go to this place that I really don't like besides band, honestly. So.
My school life without the choir program would be extremely boring, because choir and singing and dancing are like my passion, and it's really fun. So everything else is not that fun. So school would suck without choir. Choir can be expensive if you choose to go on all of the choir trips, but you can always fundraise. You do like cookie dough, you do pie, you do all sorts of fundraising, and it goes into your account, so you can pay with your account. I'm in the choir program because singing is my passion, and basically when I wake up in the morning, it's like, oh yeah, first hour, choir, singing, I'm down, let's go. It's motivation to get to school. From the choir teacher, I learn how to sight read really good. I learn how to harmonize, and it actually carries out into, like, if I wanted to harmonize on my own, by myself, and record my voice over my voice, I'd be harmonizing with myself, and Miss Simon has taught me that.